Welcome to Shootin' It Straight with Stan. I'm your host, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent licensed in all 50 states. Today's topic is a weird one, a good one, a timely one, a needed one, and it is called Stop Living Your Life by the Tax Code. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax lawyer. I do not give tax advice, and no advisor or agent should give you any tax advice unless they are a CPA or a tax lawyer, or in some cases, CFPs have that certification as well. My point is they have to be certified. If they're certified to give tax advice and not some business card that says senior tax specialist, no, they've actually done a class, they've been tested, and they understand it. And the tax advice that they give, their rear end is on the line. Their butt is on the paper. Not literally, but figuratively, you know what I'm saying. But I'm getting tired of people that are living their lives around taxes. They're living their lives around the tax code. They're living their lives hoping to beat the tax man, hoping to strategize so that in the future, they're not going to pay as much in taxes. Listen, I understand the vomitation. Is that a word? For taxes and paying taxes. We all need to pay taxes. We all need, we need military, we need roads, we need all that stuff. Okay. So your social services for specific people that need it. Listen, I'm all for it. Okay. But as we all know, it gets a little predatory and the politicians play games with it and they know better. They're just speaking to the voters. They know down deep what they're saying is garbage. You can't tax your way into prosperity, but you also can't live your life by the tax code with retirement planning. Now, I'm not against Roth IRA conversions. I could care less. Either way, do what you want to do, okay? Personally, I'm not a fan of it, and here's the reason why, and I know I'm wrong, so let's just put that on the table. When you do a Roth conversion, you are fully trusting the United States government and the politicians who make the laws to not change the laws. And I know what you're saying, and you're right, I'm sure, and your advisor's right, I'm sure. Well, then they're going to grandfather me in, and if they do make changes, then I'd come underneath that grandfather clause, and it, I understand that. Okay, and I'm sure you're right, and I'm sure they're right, and I'm sure I'm wrong. But here's the thing: Social Security a long time ago used to be tax-free, and people that own Roth IRAs, and I'm not saying if you own one to be scared, don't. This is my opinion only. I just don't trust the politicians to not come back and say, yeah, it's tax-free, but you can only use it for, solar panels, electric cars, and college tuition to specific private schools. They'll put some kind of, well, you got to be left-handed and have one leg, and then it's tax-free. I don't trust them. Do you trust them? I mean, you might. And if you do, great. But none of us know where tax laws are going to go. You cannot cavalierly say, well, in the future, taxes will probably be lower for me because of X, Y, and Z, or taxes will be higher because of X, Y, and Z, or it'll be a flat tax down the road because of X, Y, and Z. None of us know. None of us know what's going to happen with tax policy in the future. None of us know that. So why are you planning around it? This has confounded me since I've gotten in the business. I was with Dean Witter, which then turned into Morgan Stanley, which then turned into, I went to Payne Weber, which then turned into UBS. And then I went, okay, I'm done. I have enough business cards. And I want to become Stan the Annuity Man, that mythical figure licensed in all 50 states. Exactly. But even back then, they're like, well, talk about taxes. Talk about, blah, blah, blah. I understand. Municipal bonds, tax-free income. I got it. I did all of that back in the day. But what I'm seeing now with the demographic tidal wave of baby boomers and the calls that I get and the calls that my team gets, and we have meetings with, what are people talking about? Well, they're scared of taxes. I understand that, but they don't know where that bogey's going to go. They don't know where the puck's going to go. They're just skating behind the puck. There's no way, and Wayne Gretzky, great hockey player, if you don't know who that is, Google him. He's might be the greatest hockey player of all time. And he had a saying, skate where the puck is going to be, don't skate after the puck. That makes sense, right? Get ahead of the play. There's no way to get ahead of the play with the IRS. At the time of this taping, we just had the Inflation Reduction Act. That's not going to do anything with inflation, but it was called something really nice. It should have been called, let's beef up the IRS. Let's make the IRS an army. Now, there's arguments that the IRS is undermanned and understaffed and underfunded. I get all that. But I think they're hiring like 85,000 new agents. And, the news, you can't trust either side. The news is coming at you and you got to filter everything coming at you. But just the fact that there's 85,000 new agents coming means that you're not going to beat the IRS. You're not going to outmaneuver them. You are not going to outsmart them. And with 85,000 new agents added to the ones they already have, that's a pretty strong lobbying group up there on the Hill, of which they're going to probably change the rules anyway. And we don't know what rules they want to change, which leads me back to my original point. Stop living your life by the tax code. Stop doing financial planning by the tax code. Stop it. Go live your life. You're driving yourself crazy. Now, it's not driving you, it's your money. But when people say that, I'm like, are you serious? It's like when people say, I'm really concerned about inflation, Stan, and the person has $1 million. I'm like, you can afford eggs, and you can afford bread, and you can afford going out, and you can afford to get on a plane, and you can afford to fill up your gas. Yes, it's higher. It is. But there's some people out there, the vast majority of Americans, are struggling with inflation. If you're one of those people that has some money, stop talking about inflation. It's the most self-centered BS of all time. You sound arrogant. Think about it. If you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions and millions of dollars, and you're talking about inflation, then you're just parroting what the media is saying. Stop watching it. But the tax situation, you're going to have to pay the taxes. I had a call today. This was one of those calls that you just kind of want to punch yourself in the head and go, oh my gosh. He was a smart guy, smart, high IQ guy. He had won the game. You know, I always say, if you won the game, why are you still playing? Meaning that you can just take your money, peel off the interest, never touch the principal, and live off the interest as income. He was one of those people. He was fortunate enough. He had gotten there. I mean, he had scrimped and saved, and I called him a 20-year overnight sensation. He had worked hard, and he had gotten there. And I said, okay, so how much income do you need? And we kind of reverse engineer the whole thing. Okay, you're going to get this for Social Security, and RMDs as a forced annuity. You're going to have to take income from that. That's income source. Your wife's got a pension, and you're going to peel off the interest from your portfolio in a combination of whatever it is, MIGAs, you know, the CD annuity. It's the annuity industry version of a CD, multi-year guarantee annuity, CDs, corporates, whatever you're doing from protecting the principal and just peeling off the interest. And he was like, I'd say $30,000 to $40,000 north of what the income goal was, what that bogey was, what that nut was every single month. He was north of that. You know what he asked me? Here's what he asked me. Yeah, but we got real estate taxes. I was like, you can't be serious, right? Are you seriously going to throw a wrench in the most simplistic solution ever because of real estate taxes or taxes in general or the tax question? The tax man was living in his head for free. My question to you is, the tax man living in your head for free? Is it always there? Are you always looping that? I write quarterly tax checks that would make you want to vomit. Huge. Proud of that because we're doing well and I'm blessed. And my wife's still with me. Bless her. But the point is, I write quarterly tax checks that are ridiculous. I'm proud of that. And I hate it as well at the same time. But it is what it is. I don't stop business. I don't stop being Stan the Annuity Man because I don't want to pay the quarterly tax bill. I guess I could if the tax man was living in my head for free. What I'm asking you is don't let that happen. Don't do your retirement planning around the tax bill. Stop living your life around the current tax code and what you think it might be in the future and what your master of the universe financial advisor is telling you it's going to be and they don't know. Think about that for a second. The next time your financial advisor says, well, we need to do some tax planning in the future, just stop that sentence right there and go, what's it going to be? They're going to say, well, I think it's going to be, it's just logical that it's going to. No, it's not logical. Nothing's logical in DC. Nothing's logical with the tax code. Nothing's logical with IRS. And nothing's logical when you have 30 trillion or however you want to count it, 10 to 30 trillion, I don't care what side of the ledger you're on, 10 to 30 trillion in debt that we have to service. That's not logical. Is the tax code going to be logical to address that? No, it's not. What I'm telling you is this, and I think I'm going to pimp out, and I say that in a good way, a hearse. I'm going to put all kinds of speakers in it. I'm going to paint it, and I'm going to put a U-Haul behind it, and I'm going to drive across the country with, and it's going to have the Annuity Man logos across it. And it's going to say on the U-Haul, you can't take it with you on the U-Haul. And people are going to stop me and say, what do you mean? It's obvious. If you're in a hearse, you can't take it with you. If you're taking you to the grave, there's no U-Hauls. This isn't Egypt. They're not going to bury you with your freaking television. Live your life. Don't live it around the tax code, please. And of course, I love my friends at the IRS. Don't you? Yes. Let them do their thing. You do your thing, but don't let your thing be influenced by their thing. Got it? Good. See you next week.